Welcome back to Raised by Her. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Hi there.
Well, hello there. How are you?
Good. How has your week been?
It's been a good week and a busy week, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a third co-host with us this time.
How about that?
Little Truffle.
Little Miss Truffle, yeah.
Yeah, usually she's in her cage being a very good girl. Uh, but today one of the things we want to talk about was dogs.
You and
And
dogs.
dogs. And this came up because we just went to the Humane Society Gala.
Okay.
And one of the main drivers for us attending is the fact that they let us bring little Truffle.
Oh, Truffle got to go
Oh,
to
yes, she is a she's our plus
gala.
one. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
And so the
okay.
theme was Paws in Paris.
Oh.
Yeah. So very cute.
That's cute. Okay.
Yes.
And you talked about your Paris experience with her, so she was
And so
prepared.
she was preparing, yes, and
Okay.
she had on the correct outfit.
Okay.
And
Did you have a little beret on your head, Truffle?
so, yes, and I took pictures,
Oh, okay.
and I got my, photo drawn, and I got some treats, and I met the other dogs that were in attendance.
Nice. I love Paris. Yes, did
Yeah,
you
we
like
talked about
Paris,
that.
Purple?
So, yes, and so that's why I was like, let's talk a little bit more about what dogs have meant, to me, because I know I have had quite the lived experience thanks
You
to
had,
you
you had.
and my father, and then now, as a millennial with a dog, I mean, my dog, she just lives the life.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, yeah, she's like a little person, although,
Mhm.
that makes your generation cringe because 'cause you're like,
Yes,
dogs are not children.
this is a true statement.
I was
Dogs are
like, "No,
not
we
children.
have to take her to school, so she can learn. We have to take her to a gala so she can socialize. She has to go to the dog park so she can further socialize, like a play date. She has to, because she gives so much to us. Dogs give so much to their owners."
And I've read about this trend, and it concerned me, and
Thought you
listening
were
to
gonna say
you, so
stillness. Right
that
about
too,
stillness.
that too, although, I mean, she's such a good dog. I mean, it's hard not to want to spoil her, but, I think you and probably many other people go overboard with the whole
Is there
scenario.
such a thing?
Yes, it is such a
There
thing,
is such
so
a thing as
mhm.
overboard for the dogs, but she is a very good dog, but that wasn't by accident. Based on all of my prior experiences, I was very specific about what I thought would be the best fit for for me and my household in getting
So, what is the breed and why is she the best
why is she the
fit for
best fit?
you?
Yes.
Yes.
So she is a teddy bear, which is a Bichon Shih Tzu mix.
Okay.
And it's actually not I initially wanted a purebred Bichon, but, we got her during COVID.
Mhm.
So actually my initial thought was, "Okay, let's go rescue." But during COVID, as folks may know, and as you talked about at the time when you were, listening to us go through this journey, that, like, all the small dogs were gone. And I
Mhm.
also knew that I wanted a small dog. I didn't wanna fight with a big dog because I had done some volunteering at a humane society, when we still lived in DC, and they had matched us with I think she was, like, half pit bull, half something else. She was good, but she was big,
Okay.
and
In your apartment? You had the dog
uh
in your apartment at that point?
yeah, it was more of a condo. It was a
Okay.
condo because, this was before me and my husband got married, and so
Okay.
yeah. And so she was with us, and then I remember, like, we had to transport her somewhere, and so I was like, "Alright, let's get in the car," and she did not wanna get in the car. And we ended up being late because,
Okay. All right.
she would not get in, so I was like, "Never again." Now, moving
Okay.
forward, the only type of dog I will have is one that I can pick up
Mhm.
and put where I needed to go so I can stay on schedule.
Okay. Okay.
Uh
So that's how part of how you made your decision
that is
about
why it's a
yes.
small dog and a large dog.
Okay.
And then I also didn't want a really high energy dog. She is, medium energy. I actually wanted low energy, and my husband was like, "We are not getting a low energy dog." They make me so
One of the dogs that we had earlier was a low energy dog, so I think I can share
You
that
can
story
share.
with you. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And so she's medium energy, but I didn't want a super hyper dog that needed to be walked 5 times a day and was just gonna yap, yap, yap. In part, like, poodles are high energy dogs.
Yes, we do know this.
Well, we know this
We've
now.
had
Did you
several of them.
Yeah, growing up, I had several poodles. Did you all know that that they were high energy dogs when we got them?
No, all you wanted was a poodle.
Well, because they are so cute. I mean, the styling and the see? But it's through that experience I learned the importance of not just the styling, but also the personalities. Oh, bless you, Truffle.
Bless you, Truffle. And you wanted a toy poodle, and you wanted a brown toy poodle. That's what you asked
Oh,
for.
very
So
specific.
yes,
Okay, okay.
yes, yes. You were a pretty specific little girl.
Yes. That and a specific adult, I think, but it's
Really?
interleave that it it's carried on there. That's where I get it from.
Okay.
Okay, so medium energy. I also wanted a dog that was hypoallergenic. I did not want a dog that was gonna shed
Okay.
everywhere, because I do really love greyhounds,
Yes.
and, Italian greyhounds in particular because they are the size, and anyone who knows anything about greyhounds knows that they have the sweetest
They
disposition.
really do.
Um,
Yes.
and they're just so graceful. I mean, they're just
We had an Italian
yes, you
greyhound when
did.
you were younger,
Mhm.
and named Michelangelo.
Yes,
Yes.
Mikey.
Yes. Yes.
But he shed everywhere.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I love the breed. None of that.
A little bit.
And so I there's all these like assessments and tests and stuff out there. And so landed on a Bichon would be a
Okay.
really good fit. And so and no rescues had any Bichons during this time. So I was like, okay, we will then go buy one. And there was a store that sold purebred dogs. And so we went. Guess how much they wanted for a purebred Bichon puppy?
I have no idea, but if this was during COVID, I do remember that prices went up.
$10,000.
Oh no.
10,000.
Oh my, are you kidding me?
I was like, "That just seems like a little much."
Oh, they were really taking advantage of people who wanted dogs.
Yeah,
Oh, you know what? That saddens me.
it does.
That saddens me because that means that people who really wanted a dog and maybe even needed a dog during the COVID period
Mm.
would not necessarily be able to afford a dog.
Well, if they had all the requirements that I had, we still went in to meet the Bijans that they had, but the personalities in the room, in addition to the price, just did not match. He gave
Okay.
a little spastic. I didn't care about the gender. Actually, is that true? I wanted a male dog. I wanted a male dog because Truffle is a girl, but I wanted a male dog because I heard that they bond better with,
Okay.
women. I don't know if that's true or not. Truffle and I have a good bond, but, anyway, this dog, maybe had been in the store for too long 'cause he was just a little spastic, and I was like, That's that's not going to align."
Okay. All right.
And so we were so sad that none of it aligned, but then my husband, he was like, "Well, there's another store, like, down the road, but it's not purebred, Donnica," and I was like, "I just don't know if we can do it because I want the behaviors to match the
Right.
behaviors that I had researched."
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, okay, I will go take a look at all these, hybrids? What do I call mixed breeds? Is that what they're called?
Mixed
Okay, mixed
breeds.
breeds."
Yes.
And so they did say they had a couple different mixes with Bijans.
Okay.
And so I was in there then researching again. I was like, okay, what are all these other breeds that might be a good match? And we met one other dog besides Truffle. Again, too high energy for me. Um, my husband's pretty laid back. He was like, clearly you have like some methodology here. So whatever you think is going to
Whatever that works.
yeah.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
they brought Truffle, to us, and she literally just, like, sat there. She didn't move and just looked at me, and I looked at her, and I was like, "Are you my spirit animal? Because 'Cause you're, like, not moving, you're just
Uh,
kinda chilling."
right.
So we've been chilling together ever since.
Okay, and how did you end up naming her Truffle? Because I do remember when you called and said, "We got a dog," and you were all excited,
Yeah.
and but we haven't named her yet.
I mean, it's a tough thing to do. I mean, I would argue that it rivals naming a child. I know
Uh,
you do not agree.
I do not agree with that. No, I do not agree with that at all.
She says, "I'm just gonna be identified for the rest of her life."
Yes, right.
I just love foods, and
Yes, I know that too.
yeah, and so I just thought it would be a cute thing, and I don't know how Truffle came to me, but in terms of naming thing, like, it
Right.
just you meet the being, and
Mhm.
you spend a little time, and you think about what makes sense for, who you think they are and where you kind of want them to
It's
be and
such a
Truffle.
cute name for a dog. Truffle sounds perfect for
Perfect for
your
her.
yes, for her and how she manages her life and manages the 2 of you.
Yeah.
And then periodically she comes and she stays with me and how she manages it.
Mhm.
So I think Truffle is the perfect name, but I think you do have to match a little bit of the personality with the dog.
I think a lot of it. You think just a little bit?
Well, I
People have horror stories, and
about
puppies are a
naming?
whole oh, you mean about naming?
Yes, I'm talking about
Oh,
naming.
okay. Saying, oh yeah, with the naming. I mean, I tried. I wanted to approach it with intentionality, and I think it worked out. And we haven't met another truffle out in the wild, but when we take her to her grooming, they have met another
Other
truffle or
truffle.
two.
Somebody heard about this name and they just liked it too.
In some way, yeah.
Now, I do remember at some point she was online and there was, communication with Truffle. I think you all had, her doing certain kinds of things,
So my husband wanted to create a social media page for her, and so she does
I
have
see.
an Instagram and a Facebook with far more followers than I do. I mean, she is,
Okay.
yeah, she's a little star when she wants to be.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, but that's a whole thing. Like people do it and they make money from it, but content creation is no joke, and so
Well, you had some other animals before Truffle, and I think you had a guinea
oh yeah,
pig
that's a really good
Um,
point.
and they had Facebook pages or, they had some kind of social media presence as well.
That again is my husband. But okay, so um we're married. I know what a big commitment a dog is,
Yes.
and
Well, really?
well, I had some idea watching you raise
Oh,
my
okay, alright,
my
thank
general
you.
Paws.
Yes, we'll talk about
The
that number of
proximity,
dogs.
yeah, we're gonna
Okay,
talk about
that
that.
yes, yes.
And so I was like, okay, but we wanted a pet, so I was like, let's start with fish. Um, and so they're beautiful, and you can teach them to interact and everything, but I was like, they're not quite interactive enough.
Right.
And so then we graduated to a hamster who
Mhm.
was named Chubbs.
Yes.
And he was mean. It's harder to pick based on personality, a hamster.
Really? That doesn't
Yeah. Yeah, as he just wasn't very friendly. Um, and so I was like, "Ah, let's, like, figure out what else." And so then we graduated to guinea pigs. So we got a guinea pig. I didn't realize that you're not supposed to just have 1 guinea pig because they are so extremely social that if you just have 1, they become depressed and they die early. I was like, "That's oh my gosh." I don't know
Well,
that.
is that the reason why you had 3 guinea pigs? And when I would come to visit, I'm thinking, first there was 1, it was a hamster, and now there was a guinea pig, and now there are 3 guinea pigs.
Well, actually, I don't is it Sweden? There's some country in Europe where it's illegal to have just 1. That's how severe
Oh,
it is.
really?
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you have 1, you are required to have at least 2. That's not the United States.
Oh,
But yeah, so we started with 2 and just we had such a positive experience with them. They were interactive, they had their own personalities, and I was like, "Well, if you can have 2, why not get 3?"
yes.
And then we kind of tapped out. And then we had to deal with bullying. I didn't
What
realize
do you mean bullying?
so when there is a bonded pair and you bring in a 3rd, um, they can treat the 3rd poorly if they don't.
The guinea pigs treat the 3rd
Mhm.
guinea
So
pig.
they're like teenage girls. They are. They just they're just very, very social in
I
how they
see.
yes, and so
Okay, okay.
you have to manage them in a certain time. It was a lot. I actually don't know what's more work, having a dog or guinea pigs.
Well, when you had 3 of 'em and a hamster, I could see that was a lot of work. I began to think that you all probably needed a little bit of therapy because every time I come visit, there was an additional animal there, and so perhaps children was the thing
Oh.
that I was
You're like,
thinking about
they
as
will eventually graduate
yes,
into
as, a potential grandparent here,
Yeah.
and, I refuse to be a grandparent to hamsters, guinea pigs, and even I am not a grandparent, even as darling and sweet as Truffle is to Truffle as well.
Yeah, your response to being called the grandparent of pets was very severe.
It is still that way. I am not having it anyway. But, okay,
But
so
I guess this shouldn't shock you because
no, you
at
love
some
yeah.
point, when you all allowed me to start venturing into having pets, I was across the board.
You were. And we had a lot of them. We started with, the dogs, but because you love so many of them and your grandfather thought you should have anything and everything
He was right.
that you wanted,
He was
and
right.
so
Like,
he would be someplace and they would have something and he would bring home a big, huge turtle, or there might be a rabbit, or one of your aunts, decided that you needed a bird because you loved her birds, and
mhm.
so we'd come home and it would get
Family just took care of me, and I
that's
will
right,
always
your
be appreciative.
godmother, gave you some fish at home. I mean, so we had a lot of pets for me to take care of.
You guys also for you to take care.
Yes.
So I remember the turtle.
Mhm.
A turtle smell.
It did, so we had to move the turtle to the garage.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. He was also fast.
so I was surprised at the
Yeah, they
fact
can
that he could
move.
move.
Yeah,
Yes,
I feel like
yes.
their marketing
So
is inaccurate. They didn't work on their
well, we had to
PR.
have a little, we used your little kiddie pool so that he would have
Oh, yeah,
someplace
to
to
hang
have
out.
water and like I said, it was work because
It's
then I had to research to find
all
out,
these different
well,
not breeds, but
yes,
animals across
animals,
the board
yes,
because
okay.
then, birds, yes,
Yes,
birds
yes.
are also quite messy.
They are messy, and I was not happy when you came home with the bird, and I was talking to your aunt, and she said, "Well, she loved the birds every time she'd come to visit, so I just had to make sure she had her own." Uh-huh, you can't go visit your aunt
Anymore.
anymore.
So,
So
rabbit,
yes,
had a rabbit for
yes,
a period of time.
yes.
I remember I can't remember if it was a him or her, being mean as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, not very friendly, so, and then we've had, like, 5 or 6 dogs over the course of
Yes, we had several poodles, for various reasons,
we took
and
in
so
some,
we did
you
well,
know.
the poodle in the neighborhood, someone else's poodle kept running away. And the neighbors would bring her to our house because she looked exactly
Yeah.
like your poodles, and then
Wish we ended up
someone's
naming it.
well,
I was
we
like, "What
did
happened?"
well, we had to because they kept bringing her, so let's see if you can remember the names of your dogs, your poodles.
My very first dog was named Sparkle,
That was
and I
Sparkle,
got that when
yes,
I was 6 years old.
right, and somebody stole Sparkle.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
devastating.
Yes, yes.
And then I think next was Apricot.
Mhm.
And Apricot, died when we were on vacation.
That's right.
He died, at a doggy hotel.
Yes.
They said that he had a heart attack.
Mhm.
Um,
That high energy, that whole
that was
scenario.
also quite
That
devastating.
was true, yeah, that was.
Brownie, who was not who was a neighborhood poodle.
That's the one people kept bringing to us.
Yes,
And
I
that
guess we
is
should name you and feed you.
yes, right.
Um, and after
Prince.
that was Prince a poodle?
Mhm. Prince was
Okay, okay, we ended up giving him to our housekeeper, because I as our housekeeper, she formed a bond with him as well, and then at some
you
point, maybe we were on vacation or something, she brought him back to her house, and Prince and her husband just really bonded,
found it.
and at that point, I think I was in high school, and so I was off living my own life, not paying a ton of attention.
Not paying any attention at
Oh,
all.
well, I mean, that's
So I indicated that if you were not going to pay attention, then we were not going to have this dog at home. I was at my limit of taking care of your dogs
helping.
and your animals. I just said, Donica, look, you're now old enough and you need to manage your time. You need to make sure that you're going to take care. And I will, mommy. I will, daddy. And daddy would say, okay, but daddy wasn't taking care of the animals. So Prince then became their dog.
Yeah.
And then people said, I can't believe that you gave her dog away. And I said, well, I didn't just give her dog
I
away.
appreciate my community's
Well,
advocacy.
they really were. They made me feel really, really bad. And so anyway, I did research and had a friend of mine that recommended the Italian Greyhound, and that's why we ended up having the
Well,
Italian
I think
Greyhound.
there was one in between. It was not I don't think it lasted 2 weeks because we went to go rescue,
Oh,
and,
yes.
it was
Yes.
some white dog.
It was a mixture of a husky and, something Eskimos.
Oh, an American
Yeah,
Eskimo.
American Eskimo. It was beautiful, and that's what happened. You and your father went to the rescue.
He was my partner in crime,
Yes,
I'll
yes,
just
he
say,
was,
yeah.
and so you all come home now with another dog for me to take
For
care
you to
of.
take care of, let's just add that to your plate.
Yes, but this dog, although beautiful,
Huskies are a whole thing. I now know that. They
tore up anything and everything within I don't know if it was the his or her,
Yeah,
but
I don't
yeah.
remember either, but yeah, I
Okay.
and he tore up one particular piece of furniture, and then we never saw him. I just went back to wherever we got
Back
it
to
from.
where you got
They
him
took
from.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So,
And then it was Michelangelo, who
Genesis,
was,
right.
the Italian Greyhound, who was
The
so
sweetest.
sweet.
Yes, Michelangelo did not bark, and so, I mean, that's how good he was. He would
Yeah.
just lay and one weekend when we were traveling, my brother came to take care of, Michelangelo, and he said it was unnatural to be in a house that had a dog that didn't bark, so he taught Michelangelo how to bark,
Yeah, that we came back and that it was,
and then
yeah.
he didn't stop barking.
No,
He barked and
he was
barked
never
and
quiet again.
barked.
Right, right. He found his
He
voice.
did. He found his voice. Yes, thanks to my wonderful brother, he found his voice. So,
Yeah.
so your dog experiences have been many. So,
Mhm.
tell me about the fundraiser that you all went to, though. What was the gala like? And
They do a really good job. This was our 2nd time going. I can't remember what the theme was last year, but they have a good they're not called but they have, like, a good, array of things to, like, choose from, to bid on, auction, that's what it is, that's the word I'm
Mhm.
looking for. Auction items, silent auction items, because it's you and I both know what it takes to create an event.
So put everything together.
It is
Yes.
not
Yes.
an easy thing to do that and have to consider the fact that people are going to be bringing their
Well,
animals.
that's why I was interested in what they did and how things really took place. What
I think last year somebody brought their horse. Yes.
you did? I
I did mention
remember
that, yeah, I guess as
the
there's a
horse.
horse.
Uh-huh.
People brought their cats,
Mhm.
and then, cats and strollers, so,
Cats and strollers. Okay.
mhm,
Alright.
these non-children that
Okay.
you collect and strollers everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's well done,
Mhm.
so,
And a lot of fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
to
fun to
hear about
party with
yeah.
your pets.
Oh, there it is. Party with the
Party
pets.
with
I
the
love
pets.
it. Okay.
Yes.
And your husband actually must enjoy this as well. So because he accompanies you to these things,
Mhm.
this fundraiser.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he shows up. He's like, "Oh, another event, Donica, huh?" He has an out. He doesn't have to come visit one
Okay.
today, but I'm glad that he
Okay.
does.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you for sharing that experience with Truffle and the
Yeah, until
yeah.
next year. Well, actually, that's not true. There's another local, animal rescue that it is called Siska. One
Mm.
that we were attended before is the Humane Society.
Okay. Right.
And they do an event too, so we'll see if we decide to show up for that one, but
Well, I think pets are just very meaningful in terms of teaching young children how to be able to not only take care of someone else, something else that they love, but it's also one of those opportunities for growth and to be able to love a pet and to be able to teach a pet. And so
they're family
it
members.
is, yes,
Yeah,
yes, they are.
yeah,
And so,
they are.
so
They
that was
also help you live longer.
that's what they say, that, so for elderly people, and no, I'm still not getting
Okay.
a pet. I know what you're trying to do there. Let me just tell
That was
you,
my
periodically she tries, but, I've had enough, thank
yeah,
you, to
that's
take
yeah,
care
well,
of,
after listening to
and
all these
so
stories, I
right, I
can
can,
see your
but
perspective.
I appreciate when Truffle has a chance
Yeah.
to visit, and
Hopefully you guys
so
have a good time.
we have a good time and, we bonded, and she and I are cool, but
Good.
yes, no.
No pets
So,
right
no,
now.
no,
I
no pets.
understand.
Yes, enough to be able to do, so
So we had a really good reaction to the conversation around aging
mm, mhm.
um, a few weeks ago, and so I would I wanted us to talk a little bit more about that because some folks they really appreciated the conversation, but they were like, "It's really tough." Like some folks are just like, it's hard to age. You guys talk about it in such a positive way, but can you share what's been tricky and how you guys navigate that piece of it?
What my friends and I talk about and family members in terms of the aging process is you really have to have a plan of action because if you're blessed to live long enough, you're going to go through this aging process. And many of us are taking or have been taking care of our parents or our mothers. We have to be able to have a plan of action in terms of how to make sure that their needs are met. the caregiving piece is very important, and so that part of it is tough. And then with yourself, you need to be able to be honest about where you are in life. Many people talk about the fact that the 70-year-olds are really 50-year-olds and the
Mhm,
60-year-olds. Yeah, I mean,
mhm.
so
Like 70 is the new 50 or 50 is the new 30.
exactly. And that's probably true in terms of how some people live their lives. But in terms of the body itself and what the body is going through, that's real. The body is aging. From the time that you were born till whatever time that you leave this earth, the body is continuing to age. How you take care of it, what you do, how you actually respond to your body's needs is very important in terms of the aging process. And we don't always think about that. So, what I think is real important is how we then go about preparing for older age and then how honest you are about what you need at a given time. Now, we've talked about sleep, and it's not a good idea not to get the sleep the body needs. We've also talked periodically about health and healthcare. So, when something hurts or when something is not right, it is really important to go and have it checked out. Now, my particular physician at this point is not only my family physician, and she's a general practitioner, but she also is a gerontologist. She helps elderly people and she works in several nursing homes. And so when I go and I talk with her about something that is going on with me, she asked me some very specific questions about how I want to live my life in the future. And then she will say, if you are serious about that, what you're going to have to do are these certain things that will keep you healthy. So you must make sure that you get your shots. And she's not even an advocate for getting a whole lot of shots, but there are certain things that we have to do. She is an advocate for getting the screenings
Mhm.
that you need in life and making sure that you get your eyes checked out, making sure you get your ears checked out, make sure that you have your mammograms, the things that you are supposed to do on an ongoing basis. And a lot of times people feel like, well, I'm not feeling bad. So
Also, it's a lot. Like, if you think about all the appointments that are on your calendar already, and you and I talked about this, like, it just gets more and more and more the more you
it
age.
is,
I'm like, "Wait a minute,
everything
I have
takes
more healthcare
longer.
appointments than I have." Oh my like,
Everything
the sheer
takes
volume of meetings in life, it's just,
and responsibilities and the things that things you have to do, but also things that you wanna do, and when you're trying to marry all those things, it's difficult.
what about the mental aspect of it? Because 'Cause we've talked quite a bit, I feel like, about the health component of it, which obviously is a big piece, but also the mental gymnastics that goes through your head when you're like, "Oh, I'm at the
There
age that I
there's
feel."
a physician that, has several books out, Doctor, Andrew Weil, and, he is, a physician that studied the aging process. And in one of his books, he talked about the fact that what you have to do is to be honest with yourself and prepare yourself mentally. He actually used an example of his dogs when he was in this particular chapter that I was reading about. And he had two dogs, the same breed. One was older and one was younger. And he said when his older dog started to have some real health challenges, he was watching the dog go through this aging process. And then he was looking at the younger dog, and he said it began to make him sad because he was watching his dog go through this process of health and then challenges and then going to death. But he said, That's what we have to do too. Think about your loved ones that are no longer in your life and they were sick. You have to be able to prepare yourself. Now, you're never prepared for the final moment. You're never prepared for the final moment. But what you are preparing yourself for is the aging process in a way that can be healthy. And how you go about that is being honest with what you need, honest with what you can do, honest with what you can't do, and then take care of yourself. What my doctor said you need to have is your 10-year plan. If you had a plan for everything else in your life, you have your plan in terms of your estate planning, you have your plan in terms of how you're going to get rid of the um, property that you have. You have your plan in terms of what it is that you want your children or those who are going to be responsible for burying you. You have a plan for all these things. Do you have a plan for how you're going to age?
That makes a lot of sense. When you and I have talked about it, and I feel really good going into my 40s, but I've been really intentional over the past few years about my health, and I think that has been a big component of me feeling better going into my 40s. And also, it helps with the mental aspect too. The fact that I still feel good. I also think, to your point, we're at the conversation around aging like, 50 is the new 30 or 60 is the new 40, and so I'm not feeling like, "Oh, I hit this age and it's all just gonna fall apart." But then also I've had some really great examples, in my life of women who have aged, in my perspective, really well, and they are still living their best lives in their 70s, in their 80s, and so I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool. Life just gets better."
Well, you mentioned that in one of our previous podcasts. You mentioned looking at, I think, a podcast that Oprah had done and had interviewed Maya Angelou. And you said that Maya Angelou said that 80s are really
Oh,
wonderful. You
yeah,
can
you can make
rock,
it.
you can
It's worth
rock.
it.
And so, but what I believe she was talking about is living your life well. When you live your life well, when you're intentional about taking care of the things that need to be taken care of, you don't just let things go, then you will have an opportunity to live a better life. It is stressful. It is stressful because what I know and what we know is that I don't have as many years in front of me as I have behind me. And that reality is
That'd be
something
hard.
that can wear on you.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking about what my doctor said. And what she said was, "What kind of plan do you have? What are you doing for yourself?" And she said, "I'm in and out of the nursing homes every day, and I hear the regrets of people who didn't have a plan. And that is hard. So,
Yeah.
Ronita, you need to be able to have a plan. And then you
Trying to live with
discuss
no regrets.
live with no regrets, but also make sure I share with you because you are my daughter what I'm going through so that there are no surprises
Yeah.
that come up and that you then have to deal with. I don't think you would appreciate the fact that if I had something serious going on and because I didn't want to worry you and that's what parents think about. We don't want to worry our children and then I don't communicate something and then all of a sudden I'm in the hospital with whatever the situation is. So you have to be honest. That
Yeah.
takes some of the stress off the situation as well.
Okay, so your main advice to these folks would be certainly take care of your health, which is something that we talk about a lot on here. But then second, I'm hearing like maybe therapy to help with the mental gymnastics of it all. Like if you because we're still talking about it from a very positive perspective, but I think that's in part because of where we are in our lives and all the work that we've done internally and mentally and emotionally to have that worldview. But not everybody is coming from that worldview.
Then what I think you must do is make sure that not only are you honest about what you need, but be honest about what you can't do and you're no longer going to be able to do. And that's hard. I mean, saying, I can't do this anymore. I need to be able to give this up and then shift and adjust. Therapy is always recommended. I believe in it, as you know. However, not everybody is comfortable with that. So you have to discuss it with someone. You have to be able to share whatever it is that you're going through with someone.
Okay, so then it's less therapy and more health, number 1, and 2, find a support system to help you through it.
A serious support system to help you through it.
Okay.
Because we're all experiencing it really together. I
That's
mean,
true.
if day in
Yeah, that's a good point.
and day out. And so and then I think you also should embrace something new and different that you haven't embraced just because you either didn't have the time, you didn't have the resources. Have a plan to get to that scenario so that you're not then later saying, "I wish I had.
Oh,
I
like
wish
have
I
a goal
could."
that you're still working towards.
Yes,
Yeah, that
that
makes
is
a
a
lot of
part
sense.
of the aging process to make sure
Set new goals.
that you have a goal that you're working towards. What Dr. Weil says in his book is that when he was watching his dogs, he said when his older dog passed, of course, he missed the dog, and then he had a new plan of activity for his younger dog, and he said, I decided that my younger dog is going to experience some new things and do some new things, and I was gonna do them with him, and so that gave him, he said, a little bit of joy,
Mhm.
and it also made him think about the fact that not everybody is going to live forever. Like this dog that he had that he loved was not going to live forever, but he had some goals around making the dog's life better, which then was going to enhance his life. And then all the other things that we know to
Enhancing
do.
your
And
dog's
so
life does increase your joy.
mhm,
Yeah.
that was the point that he made as well. So I think the aging process allows you to be able to not only grow up, but to grow out in certain ways.
Mm.
And you have to figure out how you want to grow out. What does that mean? It's
I hope that's helpful to the folks who continue to kinda struggle with this.
it is a struggle,
It is a struggle.
but
Yeah, it's
it's
important to name the thing.
yeah, it is. It's important to name it and to call it out, but then you have to do something about it. You know, I always talk about what insanity is.
Yeah, right, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense.
yeah, agreed.
So so we're gonna make sure that we continue this aging process with grace and give yourself grace. And
Speaking
we'll
of
do that.
aging in a different way, you were telling me about some articles that you had seen, that it will talks about aging in a different way, but it's been quite concerning because it's focused on literal, like, babies and
Oh,
children,
little
toddlers. I'm like,
girls.
"What?"
Yes, little girls. There is this trending topic of conversation about youngsters and what they need in terms of their skincare and what they need.
When you say youngsters,
3-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
what three-year-olds need in terms of their skincare?
3-year-olds, and they have a whole skin line, 3 to 8-year-olds, and they are being sold in all the major stores, and
You
many of
serious?
the major companies have a children's skincare line, and then they are encouraging kids to have makeup. I mean, it's really growing up too soon. Age appropriate is what I believe in, Donica, and I tried to raise you making sure things were age appropriate, but I can't even imagine you having a face mask at the age of 4 years old. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense to me.
So but these companies have to be facing a backlash, like, that's absurd.
The companies have been growing and their profits have been growing
So people are
because
buying these face masks for the
because the
three-year-olds.
mothers feel like that it's so good for me. I'm doing my facials, I'm doing this, so and my daughter just wants to do it. That's not really, I think, in the best interest of your child. I also heard some dermatologists on a medical radio show talk about how bad this is for the skin of the youngsters, how bad it is for the image of the youngsters to
Oh,
think that there
yeah.
is something wrong with them that they need to have
A face
a
mask
face
at 4 years
mask at
old.
4 years old. So, but yes, the product line is for 3 to 8-year-olds.
3 to 8. That's
And
I don't really have any words, that's unbelievable.
people are buying them. So, and I think I began to take care of my skin when I was an adult. There are special things that I feel like as adults you need to do, not as children. What do you do for your skincare?
I mean, I didn't start taking care of my skin as an adult. I had to start taking care of it, I think, in middle
Middle school.
school.
Yes.
Yeah, because when my hormones started going crazy, my skin started going crazy.
Right.
Acne was a real challenge for me
Yes.
in my youth, and I think that's when our conversations around, skincare and also, like, what can we do to help you,
And I
heal
took
this,
it
but also kinda feel better about yourself.
right, and I took you to a doctor,
Oh, that's
and
right, you
it
took me
yes,
to that's right, you
yes,
started seeing a dermatologist.
dermatologist,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, and feeling good about yourself is important because when you start to have the acne breakout, which is normal for teenagers, but you had a severe case of it
Yeah,
at
thanks
that
to you and my
point,
father.
so
'Cause I did the research there too. There was
I'm
like, "Well,
sorry.
it's the genetic
Yes.
challenges."
Yes, 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 we both had our own challenges, and so, yeah, you had a double whammy there, so,
It's okay. We got through it, but mercy.
I but I absolutely could identify with how you felt
Yeah.
because I remember going through it as a teenager as well,
Mhm.
and so One of the things I wasn't wearing makeup though when I was, in my preteens and
Oh, yeah, my
teens,
girlfriend
and
probably
so
was she probably didn't it's not that she didn't care, but,
you'll grow
you were
out of
just
it.
gonna have to, yeah, push
That's what
through
she said.
your
I had to
whole
push the yep, she said, You'll grow out of it,
Yeah.
and so and then because she loved being positive as well, she said, "You're beautiful anyway, you don't have to worry about that," and I'm sitting there looking
Yes,
all
so look at my face, what's happening?
so, but you do grow out of it, but you do have to make sure that you're doing certain kind of things to take care of your skin that are positive things.
Yeah, I mean, what do I remember doing back then? Proactive, which I guess is I don't even know if it's still out
It's
there.
still out there,
Um,
yes.
and, that's the one that, like, sticks out to me the most, probably because of, like, their ongoing marketing. I feel like every time you
Sure.
turn on the TV, you watch a
Yes.
commercial for it, and
Yes.
that's probably helped some, but then to your point, like, once you become an adult and you have even more dermatologist appointments, you get all types of things that you can lean into, whether it's medications or more advanced product lines,
And I do pay attention to my skin. I pay attention to, what I put on my face. I pay attention to making sure that I am doing facials periodically. Now, I don't do them, every day or every week, but, I am and periodically, I still get some breakouts because what's in your body is in your
yeah, the
body, and
genetics
it
are
is
there.
that. Uh-huh.
But, I mean, I we we are big on self-care, as
Mhm.
anybody who listens to
Sure.
us or watches this knows. I also can see, the folks that don't focus on self-care, like, the fact that I can tell the people who take care of their skin, particularly as we age, and didn't. You mentioned the folks who are, like, in the sun. Did you mention the folks in the
Mhm.
sun?
We well,
Yeah, I mean, that's, like, what I'm
not on the show, but I was
oh,
telling you
talking about
that
something else, a
yes,
certain show.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, and when we one of the things we like to do is go to med spas together, and so when we have conversations with the anesthetist yes, anesthetist, they they're like, "Sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen."
That's
Like,
right.
the issues that we see are a direct result of the folks that are in the sun 24/7. So, did you do it? Okay, any damage that you have, we're gonna try to help with all the technology we have now, but also, like, the sun, just stay out of it. And you wore hats all the
I
time.
did. I wore hats. So whether you're African American or not, you still need to make sure that you have sunscreen. So that is very important because our skin is sensitive. And even though we don't have the problems that some other people have, other cultures have, we still can get sunburn.
And
And
get cancer.
and that's right, skin cancer as well. And so I would put the sunscreen on you. I would make sure well, I tried to put hats on you, but when you were little, you didn't
I
like that.
haven't.
You did not. So you wear them a little bit more now that you're older, but I wore hats all the time.
And
And
still do.
so yeah, I like hats.
Yes, yes, yes.
I like hats. But it is a part of the aging process, taking care of your body, taking care of your skin, knowing what you need and then making sure you do something about it. Now, sometimes people say, well, I don't have the resources. You can go to the drugstore and talk to the pharmacist, and you can find out
Yeah, be like,
what
"Here's my budget."
exactly, and they will help you. You don't always have to have the most expensive products, and so I think that that's a real important point. I was buying some perfume the other day, and the woman at the counter said, "Well, what do you use? What kind of products to use on your skin?" And I said, "Right now, I am using some products on my skin that really came from a physician because I'm having some sensitivities." And she said, "Oh, so you probably are not interested in the special that we have here." I said,
Not interested in buying your
"No,
products
no,
then,
no." But
thanks.
for many years, I did buy the over-the-counter products, and tried to do the full line. So if it was the Estée Lauder line or if it was Clinique or
Mhm.
if it was, Laura Mercier, I would buy the cleanser and the moisturizer and making sure that, I did what I was supposed to do with the toner, and most of the time, not all the time, but make sure I did not go to bed with makeup on.
Yeah, yeah, that's a big one. As we're talking about this, I'm thinking about how exhausting I feel like I'm always talking about how exhausting everything is to me, but, like, the it's just it's a lot, and a part of what I part of what I do now is I've scaled way back because I don't wanna spend my time washing my face 95 times, and there I don't know if it's still a I'm sure this is still a thing, like the 10-step, Korean skincare. Have you heard about this?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay,
10 steps.
yes, at least, and that's probably, like, on the minimum, or, like, 10
Is
to
that the
12
why they
steps.
look the way they look because
Yes. Yes,
their
exactly, that
skin?
is why they look the way they look,
Okay.
yes, and I was like, "You know what? It's just gonna be what it's gonna be with, like, 2 to 3 steps or 3 to
Mhm.
4 steps,
Mhm.
depending on what it," because I just, I maybe this will probably ebb and flow as I age, but it's just a lot.
So, it's back to what you eat. So, your grandmother would say, "What are you putting in your body?"
Yeah,
Because
like
that is the
water
result, and
and
that's absolutely correct.
yeah, and putting
So,
your
get your
vitamins in.
rest and exercise, and even though when you exercise, you sweat, that makes things come out of your pores, but then you have to wash your face. So, there is a process. Pay attention to the process,
Yes.
and then you will age beautifully, my dear.
That's so both internally and externally.
Absolutely, which is most important.
Internally is most important. Okay. So we talked about the fact that I went to my Humane Society fundraiser, but you also were at an event this week.
Oh, yes. I had the blessing to be the MC at a gala celebration for African American real estate people. It's called the Realtors, National Association of Black owned um, real estate associates. And the event was in celebration of the history of people who dedicated themselves to being able to make sure that home ownership was an opportunity and a possibility, which your grandparents were very involved in, and several other wonderful people in the community. We recognized the person that mom and dad worked for here in the Dayton area. Her name was Leila Francis. She was one of the first African American real estate brokers in the country and owned several offices. And she and her husband had started this company, and then he passed away, and then she just kept the torch going. So throughout the state of Ohio, she was magnificent. And my mom and dad were very involved in making sure that minority owners had home ownership, as were several other people. And so I was the MC at the event. They recognized the history. They talked about the challenges because Black realtors could not go and be a part of the Realtors National Organization, so they started their own. So the Greater Dayton Real Estate Association, they're called Realtis, have a great reputation all over the country, and your mom was involved locally. Your mom, well, I was because I was a I actually did have my real estate license for a
Yeah.
period of time, as did my brother and other family members, but mom and dad just believed you need to be a part of the Black organizations that are a part of the profession, and we need to support each other. We need to help each other because it was hard to get home mortgages. It was hard for the banks to be able to be honest and straightforward,
Mhm.
and racism existed across the board. But this organization really is dedicated to making sure that there are equitable rights for anyone who wants to have home ownership. And it's getting harder today because affordable housing is one of our number one problems in the United States. And when you have people in administration talking about 50-year mortgages, you'd never be able to own a home if you had to go through those situations. So I was really glad to be able to be an MC. I've done it before, but it always does my heart good because it's in honor of the legacy of my parents, your grandparents,
Yeah.
and all those before who really stepped out there to fight the system
Mhm.
of racism so that you have an opportunity to get a piece of that, American dream, which
Yeah,
is
no,
homeownership.
I love that,
And you
and it's yeah, go
well, I was gonna say, and it's a good example for you, for the younger generation to be able to see that the fight goes on.
Well, I think that I we would see it either way. You know?
The necessity, the
Yeah, I mean,
necessity, yes, yeah.
I don't even have to ask if it's better today, than it was back then. It might be a little different, but things certainly aren't equitable, and affordable housing is still quite a challenge.
It is.
So, cool. I'm
It
glad
is.
that you had
It
a
is.
good experience. You were able
Right.
to honor the legacy of our family, or
Yes.
continue to honor the legacy in our
Right.
family in
So
specific
it
ways.
was
So that's
good.
good.
But you also had a special event where you did a presentation.
I
It
did,
was
yeah.
wonderful.
I did a keynote speech at a women's leadership. conference, and it was titled "Do It Afraid: Pushing Past Your Fear to Achieve Your Boldest Goals."
Ooh, I love that. I love the
And,
title.
well, it it came to me because as I'm out and about in community and talking to different folks at different times, and I would speak to women, and they kept saying to me, "We could never do what you do." And I was like, that probably means certain things to different people at different times. But when I would dig a little deeper and I would ask why, I'm not unique. I am not like anything. I'm doing what it is I want to do, and you can do what it is you want to do too.
Right.
Like, what is stopping you?
Absolutely. Yes.
And when we got to the different conversations, kind of the root of it, from my perspective, it was all rooted in fear. Like, I'm afraid to put myself out there. I'm afraid about what others are going to think. I'm afraid about what it might do to my marriage. I'm afraid that, it's not I won't be spending, enough time with my kids then. I'm afraid, to pivot the career. I'm just fear, 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 fear. And so at some point, after some conversation, I just wrote the keynote.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love your life is your responsibility.
That's right.
And fear is something that we all experience. Push past it. Do it afraid.
Do it
And
afraid.
so I
Yes.
gave some
Yes.
examples from my own life, and then I gave some strategies that were rooted in behavioral psychology, leadership, and personal
Mhm.
development frameworks. I gave some exercises that folks could do, and really just wanted to be a broader example for folks to know that they can do and be literally anything they want to, and if something's gonna hold you back, don't let it be fear.
That's good. That's excellent advice.
And, like, one of the things as I was preparing for the speech, that when I was doing all the research, what's interesting is that psychology and neurology research tells us that fear is evidence that growth is near.
Oh, I love that.
So if
See?
you are feeling afraid, it is because you are standing on the
Right.
edge of something that
The
matters.
next thing is just there for you. So go out, embrace it, and just really decide that you are gonna go past your fear. And that's what you talked about.
Yeah, that's exactly what I talked about, and
What kind of
so
response did you have from
oh,
her?
it was really lovely, because I couldn't based on my schedule, I went to the conference, gave my speech, and had to bounce right out. I couldn't stay for the whole thing.
Sure.
And then when I finally was able to sit down at my computer, in the evening after I had finished my whole day, I was just kind of inundated with messages on social media, and folks had sent me emails, and it was just talking about thanking me for my vulnerability and telling my own story,
Mhm.
thanking me for talking through specifics about how to go from fear to action,
Yes.
and then just saying that that is what they needed to hear to move to their next step. And I was like, "Okay, this is what makes it worth it. This is why I speak."
Okay, and that's good. And I'm glad to know that there was that confirmation of the advice that you gave, but also it encourages you because many times you describe yourself as an introvert.
I'm absolutely an introvert.
Well,
I'm an extroverted introvert. So, like, I can situationally go out and be around people, but then I will, like, be, in my room, with the doors.
well,
So, just
but
gaining
see,
my energy from being
that's
alone.
true, but I that's really a part of truly who you are because, as an only child and as a youngster, you liked playing by yourself. You were fine just doing things on your own, and, you really didn't mind that, where other kids needed to have interaction and children around. You did have children around periodically, but you were really comfortable being by yourself as well. And what I saw then was a child that needed to make sure that she had the confidence that it's okay to be by herself because other people would say, well, you don't want her in there playing by herself. Yes, she could. I play by myself. So I felt good about that. And being able to be comfortable with who you are. And that's what you were able to, I think, communicate to others and then push yourself forward. So I too in my life have really had to step out there and push myself forward. And people wouldn't have believed that I was an introvert. And I said, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. People
yes.
don't believe that I'm an introvert, but
Yeah. But I
that is
really
not an excuse
no, no,
to
it's
pursue
just
your
it
goals.
but you have to be able to do that. So good for you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. But
So,
to one of your points, I had a mentor and sponsor sit me down at one point a year or two ago, and she was like, Donica, I feel compelled to say this to you because you have been successful as you describe it, but I also know where it is you want to go in your life and what has gotten you to where you are is not gonna take you to where it is you wanna go. So
ooh,
you have got to grow,
wow.
and you have got to step outside of your comfort zone and do kind of X, Y, Z, and we talked
Mhm,
about that. And that conversation literally shifted my mindset,
mhm.
um, to just going further and to pushing myself further.
That makes such sense because in order to move forward, you can't keep doing.
Can't be insane. I can't keep doing and expect
Well, I
different
mean,
results.
it's true. I say it all the time, and people go, "Why do you say that all the time?" And I say, "Because that's what people do. They actually, why am I still feeling like this? Why do I still look like this? Why can't I get here? Why can't I do that? Have you done anything any different besides complain? Well, no. Okay. So what is the plan? What are we going to do? How are we going to go about it? So that's,
There you go.
and you heard it a lot of times from growing up all the way through. So
Yeah.
I'm just really glad to know that you're pushing yourself forward. And yeah,
Mhm.
congratulations. Well, it's been a good conversation, my dear.
Yeah, per usual. Thank you for the conversation and thank you all for listening and watching. And please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.